Alright, hey class, this tutorial is on the project of transformations. Please read the whole front. There's some key information that if you leave it out, you're not going to pass this assignment. For example, you need to have your image, your pre-image needs to be a minimum of 10 points. A minimum of 10 points. That doesn't mean you limit yourself to 10 points. Okay. So here is an image that has been created. So right here is created a cat with each point labeled. Please notice that point A is labeled and I have the coordinates here. So it's going to be easier as I move on through the project. This will be your basic type shape. Students that are doing more complex shapes that have a lot of points will get extra points on this project. So here's an example of what your chart should look like. For my image, it went all the way to L, and each point, it went all the way to N, and each point is labeled as follows. And this is my pre-image. Your pre-image can be based in any quadrant when you start. The next three, you're going to label the transformation that you did, whether it's translation, rotation, or reflection, but must label if it's reflection over the x-axis or reflection over the y. Okay? For my pre-image, I'm going to take this point right here, and I am going, for my first transformation, I'm going to do translation. I'm going to translate by the rule of adding 3 on the x-axis, so I'm going to go to the right. And then I am going to subtract 2 on the y-axis, which means when I translate, I'm going to go down 2. So example, 3 plus 5 is 8. Negative 2 plus 5 is 3. One more time, I'll do it with this one. 7 plus 3 is 10, and 6 minus 2 is 4. Okay? That is going to give you points for your translating. When you go to your next one, please label what it is. For example, here we're talking about rotating 90 degrees counterclockwise. You need to write if it's clockwise or if it's counterclockwise. When you do it, you're using the one before. So I'm going to use the translated one, and I'm going to use the rule for rotation. I'm going to find out what quadrant I am. I'm going to swap X and Y and put the signs according to the quadrant. And then I'll use the rotated one for the reflected. And what you're going to produce is as follows. For me, I didn't translate onto the next quadrant. You can do that, translate to the next quadrant, so you'll have 4. You'll see examples in the end of the PowerPoint, or the end of the video in a form of a PowerPoint. So you can see here, this one was translated, then this one was rotated over here counterclockwise, and then you're reflecting over the x-axis. Each one of my points are labeled. They are labeled prime 1, prime 2, and prime 3. I have my title here for each one, so I know this was rotated 90 degrees counterclockwise. Okay? You reflected over the x-axis, and here, translated. The rules are here. I can easily see what you did. Okay? On the very back page is a rubric. The points are as followed. If you get it high points, you're going to have a 4, which is in this box. You're going to get 90 to 100, and then it goes down from there. 100 is a max point if you use your basic shape. If you do a larger shape, more complex, more work, more detail, color-coded, just as you saw in mine, you can earn up to 75 points depending on the complexity of your project. So be sure to read this front page. I'm going to go ahead and show you a few examples. You can also type in this title here or just transformation project into Google and you can see more images. Here's some examples of the optional project. This one you see here, is your basic shape. It has your points. Right here you can easily see that they're labeled, and you can see the arrows in which they're going. Here's one I showed in class. It's color coded. You can see which one is the pre-image by being labeled here, and then it reflecting. Here's a cupcake one. This is a more complex one. This one would get extra credit because it has a lot more points. And here's a dog. You can also go online, check out the images there. If you are stuck, please watch the videos on translation, rotation, or reflection. There are YouTube video lessons, and there are also mine online. Please check those. Check your rules in your reference book and follow them each one by one. Good luck.